The Ravens were already set up at the beginning of the season because their final 2 games in 2017 are at home. Now, they are getting a bonus because their last 3 games are against losing teams. The Ravens' road to the postseason starts with road games at the Pittsburgh Steelers, 10-2, and Cleveland Browns, 0-12, before finishing at home against the Indianapolis Colts, 3-9, and Cincinnati Bengals, 5-7. This is not exactly the murderer's row of the NFL. Granted, 3 of the games are against AFC North rivals. But only Pittsburgh will probably continue on to the postseason. Most of Cincinnati's playoff ambitions ended with a 23-20 loss to Pittsburgh on Monday night, while the Browns and Colts were practically eliminated at the midway point of the season. Ravens' passing game, Joe Flacco's wish for more aggressive play calling was granted against the Detroit Lions, and he responded with his best game of the season. The Ravens were more assertive throwing the ball on first and second downs and got the ball downfield more. Flacco still isn't putting. Ravens' passing game, Joe Flacco's wish for more aggressive play calling was granted against the Detroit Lions, and he responded with his best game of the season. The Ravens were more assertive throwing the ball on first and second downs and got the ball downfield more. Flacco still isn't putting. The Ravens, 7-5, ride the momentum of a 3-game winning streak into Pittsburgh for their Sunday night encounter with the Steelers. If they win, that would be a statement game that the Ravens are serious contenders, not just one of those one-and-done teams that earns a wild card playoff spot. But before Sunday's game, we hand out the third quarter report card. The grades are similar to those marks at the midterm, even though there is some slight improvement, especially on offense. Quarterback, Joe Flacco had his best game of the season last week against the Detroit Lions, throwing for 269 yards and finishing with a quarterback rating of 105.0, the second time he had been over 100.0 all season. The question is whether he can repeat the performance and become more consistent. He played well earlier in the season against the Oakland Raiders, but struggled the following game. Flacco has had poor mechanics and been inaccurate most of the season. He has to play well for the Ravens to get into the postseason and be considered serious contenders. Grade, C. Running backs, Alex Collins has rushed for 705 yards on 144 carries in his first 12 games and has been the team's best offensive player. Since the midway point of the season, the Ravens have gotten him the ball more, especially as a pass catcher out of the backfield. That's a good move because he's a big play threat. Collins doesn't appear to have the same explosion to get outside he had earlier in the season, but he runs well inside the tackles and has good vision for cutback moves. Danny Woodhead has returned to the lineup after missing most of the first half of the season with an injury, but hasn't been the weapon in the passing game the Ravens thought he would be. Buck Allen remains the Ravens' top runner in short yardage situations, but the Ravens have also used him as a blocking or lead back.